I want to address the first question to Marin because she started previews 3 days ago, had a 2-show day yesterday, and I am very impressed, and I thank you for being here.
Look at the bags under my eyes.
My spies tell me things are going pretty well, but I want to know, how is it going?
It's going really well. We're having so much fun. It's such a fun show, and the whole rehearsal process has just been, I mean, a joy, one of the most joyous things that I've ever been involved with, and I think it has to do with the fact that the show is really fun, the first revival in 50 years, which we're all really excited about, and Michael Blakemore, an amazing director, sort of heading the whole company, and just sort of setting the tone of fun and a great working atmosphere of exploration, and Brian Stokes and I are having a great time together, too. And the whole company's great.
Have the audiences taught you any, given you any surprises?
I think what is wonderful is that because the book is, we're doing basically the original book, which was written in 48, 47, and the jokes, the kind of silly, fun jokes, they're loving. They're really, and I think we weren't sure that we thought there were going to be snickers. People are howling, you know, so that's great. And the music, of course, is. All the numbers are just getting huge response. So it's really fun.
That's great. Well, has there been adaptation done for the book? Or
a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit in the second act. Just a little.
Okay.
How do you know when to tighten up or to let go or to pull?
I think, instinct or the audience, like Brian said, the audience is, you know, really part of the show. Mm-hmm. So it's all about listening. I mean, you have to be listening to your fellow actors. I mean, I think that's one of the most important things, is to really listen on stage as an actor, to really be present and really hear and be, you know, being, whatever, acting is reacting or being, what is it, one of those acting 101 things or something.
Most of them. Right?
Yeah, it's all sort of true in that sense of just truly listening and listening to your audience, because they tell you. That's what we're sort of learning now, because, I mean, we've only done 3 shows, so we're still not really sure where a lot of the laughs are. We're still finding our way, where the scenes, and it is going to vary night to night, certainly. It always does. But, you know, certain things that you can hopefully depend on, oh, this is going to land, or that this will probably get a laugh, or that sort of thing. But I think that just comes from,
I think that's the important thing, is listening to audience as well as to your actor.
That's how actors, and they're so, it's so true. You get as good as you give on stage.
My question is for all the panelists. I was wondering, how did you feel about your future in the theater when you were our age, 18, 19 years old?
I look back on that time and think how great it was to have naivete. And I wish sometimes I still had that.
Yeah.
Because because I was fearless. Basically, I thought that I was going to be successful. I mean, I knew it was going to be hard because everybody tells you that and all of that sort of thing. But I came here, started auditioning like the day after I got here, got a job, you know, relatively quickly. No, I think one of the things is when you begin to work and you become more known in the business, the expectations are higher and higher and higher every time you walk into the door. So that becomes, for me, more nerve-wracking than when nobody knew who I was and it didn't really matter and I could try or do anything I wanted to. Now it's more of a, now you feel like there's more at stake, because you feel like you have to continue to prove.
Actually, Marin and I worked together when she was
when
quite
I was
young.
really young.
And my agent saw her there, Michael Bloom.
She was in Michigan.
And you came to town. You had things kind of in hand.
Yeah, I
when
had
you
an
came to town.
agent.
You had
I was
an
lucky.
agent.
I was lucky. I had my car. I had an agent. So.
This is a question for Miss Mazzie. I was just wondering what kind of research went into your portrayal of Mother in Ragtime?
Well, the wonderful thing about Ragtime was that we had an incredible novel in which the show is based that Edgar Doctorow wrote. And so I had great source material there because she's beautifully written. But I think I did a lot of research just on women of the time, the Victorian women of the period. And I also just like to create the human being as far as, so I made up her family, her name, where she came from, who her relatives were, what, because her name was Mother, so of course gave her, everyone had a name, all of that sort of, which, and sort of, I wrote journals, I did this for Passion too, I wrote out things that were her life. I like to do that, so that they really are human beings. But a lot of it, like I said, a lot of the guidelines were in the novel for me, for Ragtime. So I had boundaries, and I had things that I needed to keep within the guidelines of the show. But it was a wonderful. It's very fun to create. And I mean, I'm actually doing it with Lily now too. I mean, I've given her a whole life, even though someone else has played her before. Gone at her as if no one's ever. I'm the first person that's ever, or whatever. I'm originating it for myself and giving her a life, and it's very fun to do.